Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Horace. This is Horace with Focus with Horace, frame by frame. Here we like to talk about videography, photography. We dive into technique, we dive into talent, skills, process, equipment, technologies, and we just like to learn more about our field. Today we have a guest here, a special guest, actually a good friend of mine. We work together here at Living Faith Church, International Church here in Mount Vernon at the Rema House. He's the media director. I'm a photographer here, event photographer here. I help out with the production of stills for website and for print, and basically he's the director of it, so he oversees the situation, the projects, and I'd like to guys meet him today. It's Mr. Moses Murrell.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. What's up, Horace?
What's up, Moses?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a whole 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain, It's pretty good. Things are going. I'm happy to be here. Excited to actually be on this side of the camera for once. So, I'm here to, I look forward. I can always talk about videography, photography, technology, life. Those is easy conversations. So,
yeah,
I'm ready.
That sounds great. So how you been doing the pandemic? It's been a part of our lives, so almost a year and a half now. How long has it been going on? How long have you been handling it this past year?
The pandemic was good. It's been both good and bad, It gave you a lot of time, which could be both good and bad. And also, it gave me the opportunity to, spend some time focusing on the things that I love, videography, photography, finding out ways to get better, going out to shoot in environments that weren't necessarily possible.
Okay.
So it was good. The pandemic has been, you have to make the best of things. So I've tried to make the best of it as best I can.
All right. That's a good answer. So you'd be able to find inspiration, I'm guessing, through all this difficulties, you find inspiration to be creative. My inspiration comes from, I guess, where I want to see myself when it's all said and done, right? So, having a really high bar, setting a high bar in terms of where I want to plateau in life keeps me going. When you wake up and you see you're not where you want to be, it keeps you going. It keeps you pushing. It keeps you, trucking along. Okay. Was it difficult? Was it easier, or was it kind of middle of the road?
What
Finding inspiration.
Inspiration? Inspiration is, for me personally, I like to think I'm self-motivated, so inspiration is always inspiration. Not having $1 million in the bank yet is inspiration. Yes. Not doing not totally completing the projects I want to complete yet is inspiration.
Okay.
So I have no reason to not be inspired because there's more to attain. There's further to go. There's farther to go.
Yes.
So my inspiration is my dreams and my visions and my goals. And, I always make sure to keep pushing them higher so that I always have a reason to get up and push and to see how far I can take it.
That sounds great. That's a good answer. Self-motivation, have goals, dreams, missions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you write that down? Write that stuff down?
Sometimes. And that's something I need to get better at, is writing those things down.
Okay.
But I just keep reminding myself, keep telling myself, keep letting myself know that there's further to go.
Okay.
There's farther to take it. Like, we have a long way. I have a long way to go. So, let's keep pushing. Let's keep trying to get better.
Okay.
Let's keep going until it's impossible to miss.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily looking for others' recognition, but in a sense, when you've done enough and when you've accomplished enough, it's impossible to ignore.
Okay.
So kind of keep going until it's impossible to ignore.
Okay. Are you taking people with you? Have you like a close-knit technique of a crew or confidants or collaborators that you work with?
Not right now, honestly. Besides the people who I work with here at Living Faith, we have people that have a passion for videography, photography, and media in general.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of have this common goal to push what we do here as far as we can. So for now, we're on a journey together, and that's kind of how I like to go. But I'm generally kind of private, man. Like I have a couple of friends, you know, not too many, just so that I don't get distracted.
Okay.
And because too many, in my experience, I guess if you have too much input, it could kind of distract and dilute maybe the vision, because everyone's starting to try to impose their vision.
Okay.
You know, it's like having too many captains on the ship. I'm sure we've all heard that adage before. So, yeah, you know, I share a lot with you when what I'm thinking, where I try to go. So hopefully that gives you some type of answer.
That's a good answer. That's an honest answer, and I think I understand what you're trying to say. Like for someone who's just coming up, someone who just comes in the video room, just I want to learn how to do this. They're not really sure what they want to do. They have a lot of experience. Like, what would you recommend that was the first steps? Some people who wants to become a videographer.
The first thing that I kind of share. I'm sorry, I didn't let you finish. The first thing I like to share is framing, right? Because between photography and videography, you just have to understand the framing.
Okay.
So framing is a really good starting point. Like, learn what a frame is and kind of how to balance it. Okay. And kind of just start to conceptualize that you want to make sure you're fitting what you want to express within your frame.
Okay.
And then, you know, you can kind of go a little bit deeper into balance of the image,
negative space,
focus, negative space, headroom, which is a big one.
Thirds.
Yeah. You love thirds. Yeah. He loves thirds, as you can see. Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of just the rudimentary, elementary basics. That is the first thing. And then watch the same things that you love, but now watch it looking for the frame.
Yes.
Looking for, you know, identify if something captures your attention, understand what about it technically is what drew you to it, and then try to replicate it. Okay. So
that's a good answer. I think that's a good place to start. Framing, composition, learning to tell a story.
Telling the story. Yeah.
Tell the story. All right. So, what should our first purchase be?
I mean, obviously you need a good camera, but I mean, really now you can always start with your phone, right? Because cameras that are worth getting cost.
Yes.
So most people now already have a phone in their pocket. So I say starting with using what you have and recognizing what you have first is a great place to start. So first I would say put in a lot of work, maximize your camera, and then when you understand what your camera can't do, right, on your smartphone, then you can start to kind of get ready to purchase something that can do what your smartphone camera can't. Okay. Because those things cover a lot of ground. And you know, we've seen movies shot with them. Okay. We've seen incredible pictures shot with them. So they're very capable, especially if you have the high-end Android phones, really Samsungs. Yes. And most of the iPhones have really decent cameras. So really the first thing, you just gotta get out there and just, you know, have a full battery and get out there and shoot. Okay.
That's not good advice. Something I would have done if I was starting today. If I started today with the cameras I have, I make sure I get a per camera and start practicing.
And if you're using your phone and you want to kind of go into videography, then maybe you could buy a gimbal, right?
Yes.
Something to kind of
steady
the shots, get you kind of thinking about shooting while moving.
Okay.
And practicing kind of your zoom ins, your zoom outs, your panning, your tilting, and kind of just really get a good solid foundation of the basics.
Okay. So when you max out this iPhone, they find out that they need some to just a little more control, adjust the aperture or the focus, and they want to get a camera, a nice camera. So let's get an entry level or mid entry level camera. Which camera system do you recommend? Sony, Canon, Fujifilm, or Nikon?
All right.
How would someone go out there? They go to a mega store like B&H. How would they find out? So you can ask there for advice from Moses. What would Moses say?
All right. Camera? The first thing, and I'm kind of answering your question. The first purchase, you should probably get manual software, third-party camera software.
Okay.
For your phones, right? Because for instance, this isn't a plug. Filmic Pro, right?
Yeah.
It allows you manual control over the iPhone, and I believe they have an Android version of the app, but it allows you manual control over basically the hardware. So that unlocks a whole new level.
Okay.
If it gives you the ability to experiment with aperture, with ISO, with shutter speed, and then you realize that, whoa, there was a whole new level just here.
Yeah.
And now once you've totally maximized it, which is really hard to do now.
That's like $10, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not much. So that's like a low level investment to kind of make sure that the passion is there. But once you get to that point where you are like, you know what, I want a camera. There's things that I can't do, the aperture, you can't control too much. I want a camera, I love this. Then I would say you jump into what I would recommend, my personal preference would be probably the Sony ecosystem or the Canon ecosystem. Okay. Now I say that even though I have a Fuji X-T4, which is this camera right here, I would recommend a Sony or a Canon to start off with. Just the amount of lenses, the amount of different options that they have, they're pretty good. They're too. I've done work with Nikon before. Nikons are good. They're all pretty good. If you have some reason why you want to go with a company, then go with them. They're all decent. Yes. I use a Fuji, so I've literally used every company, every ecosystem. But I would recommend with my B&H green vest on. Yes. I would recommend probably a Sony or a Canon.
Good. That makes sense. It's a good answer to that question. What should a creative do to get better? How would you sharpen your edges, sharpen your axe? Iron sharpens iron. How would you sharpen your axe? And how would you get more in depth in your field and your passion?
I kind of just I spend time probably observing others. Okay. Giving a more technical and critical eye to the works that I'm watching. So maybe if it's watching Sports Center, now I'm gonna look at Sports Center a little bit differently. Focus on the camera angles, seeing what those producers are choosing, how they're escaping from precarious situations when being live. Yes. I'll go there. Watching movies, understanding the setup, asking myself why are they choosing that shot. So it's really just paying a little bit, like changing the lens I'm looking at things through. So whereas sometimes I'll watch Sports Center purely for entertainment, there's others I'll watch it with a worker's eye or with a director's eye or a producer's eye, trying to understand the flow, trying to understand why they're choosing what they're choosing, and I'll do the same thing with movies. And then, you know, in terms of photography, just looking at other people's work, or just going out without a real agenda except for capturing stuff.
Okay.
You know, let me see what I can capture today. I kind of like landscapes in terms of photography, so I would go try to capture something, go to one of the gardens like we went to.
Yes, New York.
And you know, see if I could capture a picture too, just to kind of make sure I see something and know how to capture it.
Okay.
Ask myself, what settings do I want to use? Is there a better way to do it? So that's kind of the things that I do.
All right. Those are great answers, great advice. That's something I want to talk about. Actually, going to take a break right now. We get to a little commercial, a little PSA. But when we come back, we'll talk about one of your favorite toys, we'll say. We'll talk about one of your favorite toys when we come back. So basically, this is Horace, we're going to focus on Horace frame by frame. Just sit, relax, and we come back and we'll speak together. Thank you.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Hello everybody, this is Horace from my Focus Horace Frame by Frame. We're back. We're here to talk about the toy we were talking about earlier. Basically, we're techies, you know, we like cameras, we like computers, we like cars, you know, we like things that move. And we got a little toy called a drone. And it's something that Moses is taking affinity to. He's been kind of looking for gigs and just take it out for fun. It's like piloting a plane. But I'm gonna talk about his device and how to describe it, and I'll talk about that for a little bit.
If you see this smiles, because I'm just smiling thinking about my drone. I love my drone. I guess as I've gotten older, I guess that's my adult hobby. That's my adult fun. And I can get paid for it, and I get paid for it. So it's a double whammy. It's amazing to fly. It's just it's freeing to actually fly it.
Okay.
So I have a DJI Mavic Air 2. There's higher level drones, but that one is pretty good.
Okay.
Like it shoots in 4K, and someone who's a videographer and a photographer it's so fun. It's freeing. It has allowed me to get shots that would usually require thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Yeah, helicopters and
cranes, jibs. Booms. So it's basically unlocked a whole new level of creativity. It's good in the summertime. You go out, you get to shoot.
Yeah.
I've captured a few nice shots, man. A few shots. You know, I said earlier I like landscapes, so I've gotten a lot of nature shots. Maybe I've gotten some around Lake George.
Okay.
I've I did some shooting around the new New York Bridge,
Okay.
formerly the Tappan Zee Bridge,
Yeah.
up there in Tarrytown. I've flown it across the Hudson River. I have fun with it, man. That's my
5 mile range, right?
It has like 6 miles or something around. It can go further, but battery life.
Okay.
So, it flies for about a half an hour. So I usually go out, just get to flying. You've been there with me sometimes. When we're out just kind of casually shooting, and it's really, 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 really fun. I'm sure as you guys can see the footage going on right now, it captures really good footage. I've used it to shoot videos.
Okay.
I've used it for a music video. I've used it in a few different scenarios so far. So
Sounds good.
it's been a joy.
Sounds good. There's something about drones that I don't know many people know about, but there's a flight restriction. Do you want to talk about that?
There's a lot of flight restrictions, and I really didn't start understanding that until I was really serious about the purchase.
Yeah.
Well, probably after I purchased it, but then was waiting for it to ship.
Yeah.
Then I started realizing that there's a lot of restrictions in terms of flying it. So I've been flying it for a while, but I'm in the process of getting the certifications.
Yes.
So that I could fly it in more spaces with kind of with permission, because I've been flying it a lot technically without permission.
Right.
And you want to make sure you're following all the regulations so that you can have peace of mind.
All right. And branching off that, have you ever done a pilot license for for a Cessna or personal plane?
Actually, that was when I was younger. That was
Dream of yours?
I wanted to be a pilot,
Okay.
but then I realized pilots didn't get paid too well. So I kind of stopped pursuing it. But that's a life goal, to have a pilot's license, and
Okay.
just for personal use. I definitely, listen, I like driving. I like operating machinery. So that's definitely one of the life goals, is to get my pilot's license.
Do you recommend formal training, YouTube, or reading books, or talking to people? How would you get better?
All of the above.
Okay.
Books, it's always good to read. It keeps the mind sharp.
Okay.
Helps with your imagination and your creativity. YouTube is it's a university now, man. If you look in the right places, you search the right things, you can find out a lot of information on YouTube.
Okay.
Earlier today, I was having some camera troubles,
Okay.
and I went to YouTube, and 3 minutes later, it's like that. 3 minutes later, I kind of had the answer. It's like YouTube is almost like that scene from The Matrix where Trinity called Tank and asked him, I need to learn how to fly a pilot.
Yeah.
That's basically YouTube.
Okay.
So, you can learn a lot. And then always, formal training is amazing, because it's always good to get instruction from those who have the skills that you're looking for. And I know for me, formal training, especially for skills, like skills training, formal skills training is very, very good, and it could be really beneficial and kind of lessen the amount of time it takes to really learn something.
Yeah.
So I recommend all of the above, and I partake in all of the above.
Yeah. Me too.
Always try to take classes, always try to, instead of kind of spending, allowing myself too much idle time, I always try to, what can I learn? How is this done? One of my favorite shows is How It's Made.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how much you learn from those things. So I'm always trying to kind of learn. I consider myself a learner.
Okay.
So I use any mediums, audio books, physical books, YouTube, and also formal training.
Okay. Sounds like a well-rounded, diverse way of getting education, get better. But another way of getting better at improving your skills is a mentor. Do you have a mentor?
Do I have a mentor in terms of for videography and photography? Unfortunately, no. And I probably and I need to kind of, I guess, make that a goal, is to have a mentor in those areas, because it's always good to learn from people who have come before you.
Okay.
And yeah, that's a good question. And unfortunately, the answer right now is no. But I'm putting in applications. I'm putting in applications.
Okay. That's cool. You don't have a mentor, but would you be a mentor for a young person coming up?
Sure. I kind of do take on that role with my position here.
Okay.
So when the younger ones who kind of admire what we do want to partake, they ask me questions, and I'm always willing to answer. I try to always point them in the right directions and give them as much information as I can, and as much as they're willing to receive. So yeah, sure, I have no problem with that. Never if someone asks me a question, as you know, we ask each other questions. You ask me a little bit more than I ask you, and you know I'm always willing to answer.
All right, back to with me. When I make a purchase, I buy camera, or even tripod, equipment, I always run it by you to get some advice. You always have good advice. You know, I trust what you offer. Sometimes it's kickback. I'm like, I want this. I like the way it costs. I like it's costing as much. You know, I specs, but where do you get your information from? How do you make a decision on what to buy, how much to spend, and then what's good and what's not good?
I guess it ties back to me being a learner,
Okay.
and to me always kind of trying to be as well rounded as possible. So I kind of, because I'm a self-proclaimed tech enthusiast, I kind of always have a pulse of what's going on, what's coming, where the edges are leaning in terms of competition. So I kind of always, with that knowledge and then targeted research, you know, they have a lot of, once again, YouTube, Google. This isn't a Google plug. I know Google and YouTube are owned by the same companies, but just asking search engines, forums, just asking the questions to my devices. Also checking with the B&H salesman, that's the one shameless plug. B&H is the greatest store in the world. Also going to B&H, man. B&H is one of it's like Amazon and Harvard all in one for tech and videography, photography, any type of production. You could go in there with nothing but a credit card and get everything you need to shoot a world-class movie. So
if it's out there, it's in there.
And if it's worth having, it's in there. So those are I kind of pull a little bit from everywhere and try to stay as well-rounded as possible, and you know, not being afraid to kind of make a mistake with a purchase. So
I'm gonna give you a few seconds to talk about what you want to talk about. Anything going on that you want to talk about? Where you're gonna be, where we can find you?
You'll see me when you see me, but you know, I just encourage you. If you have a story you want to tell, if you have a dream you want to pursue, no better time to start that right now. You know, whenever someone says you can't, try harder. Persistence will always beat resistance 10 times out of 10. So keep chasing that dream, keep pursuing it. You know, start with if you want to do video or photo work, start with your phone, maximize it. Then you get manual apps to maximize it some more, and keep going, man. People have done so much more with so much less. So what better time to start than now?
All right. Thank you, Moses, for being on the show.
Yes, sir.
Have you come out from behind the camera, sit down, let the camera focus on you, and let you share your story. So, again, this is Horace from the Focus Horace Frame by Frame here at Moses Murrell. And that's it for now. Goodbye for now, not forever, and we'll talk. Thank you.